Hey everyone, it's Griffin here. Today I'm going to talk about the second game between Fnatic and SK in the playoff series that they've played, which Fnatic did end up winning in the end, 3-1. But I really want to talk about the second game because it's the one they lost. Um, because I think it puts a lot of issues that Fnatic has with their team into play because I don't think that a team like SK should ever be able to beat a team like Fnatic, especially when it comes to the players individually. However, there are problems that are starting to show, that have been showing for a long time, really, but that are really starting to show right now in the sense that Fnatic are looking very shaky and people are starting to realize it and play against it properly for the first time. So, I want to preface this by talking a little bit about the draft, which is Fnatic versus SK. Fnatic has a pretty simple draft, not one that I'm a big fan of, as they uh, drafted themselves into kind of a hole with their team composition that really just looks to go in. There's nothing else to their composition than go in, kill, get out, right? Or just win the game off of a team fight win. But the thing is, SK has a much better draft in the sense that they far outrange Fnatic, right? So Fnatic have a draft that is very close ranged, but has to go in, right? I mean, that's usually how engaged drafts work, right? Um, it's a very close range draft. Whereas SK has a very long range draft. And now you might be thinking, well, while looking at the champions, there's a Kai'Sa, there's an Alistar. How do they get out range, right? There's even an R, right, who has to go in, like you said, right? But it is different because they have Lilia and Victor, which means that they outrange the enemy composition because of the presence of these two champions, right? Because they have Lilia with the sleep, they have Victor with the gravity field, they have a Victor with the kind of laser thing. I don't know what it's called, man. He pulls out his fucking third arm and shit, whatever. He has his ulti. Wait, I'm gonna remember what it's called. It's called Gravity Storm. I'm not 100% sure. I can't fucking remember. Goddamn. So in any case, they have options to be able to play against Fnatic's draft. That is really big when you take into account that this draft could have been much better from Fnatic and still hold the same kind of go in type of attitude. However, I'm not going to dwell on that too much because in the end, I don't think this game, even though it mattered a whole lot, I really want to focus on, like, even if you have a bad draft, right? And if you're 10k gold ahead, you should never be able to lose a game. Unless the enemy team just starts smurfing on you, right? You should never be able to win the game. Or unless the enemy team has this hyper scaling. But at that point, like, if you're 10k gold ahead, you should never let them get to the point where they hyper scaled. You know? It's really weird. So that's exactly what I want to talk about here. How the fuck did Fnatic throw a 10,000 gold lead? And we're going to talk about it here. So, first things first, as you can see on your screens, Genax just died. Uh, Selfmade and Bwipo are on top side, and they're going to go for Herald. It's pretty obvious. And this is the thing. Teams do not punish this type of behavior. Because this play is very easily punished. This play should never have been able, or how do I word this? Should never have happened, right? They shouldn't have profited off of this play as much as they did. Because what SK can do here, instead of rotating their bot lane to the Herald, they can just leave their Kai'Sa bot lane, right? Wait for the Xayah to recall, and then when Xayah recalls, right, you just push the lane out. You push the lane out, Tinks rotates to Dragon. Alistar still goes bot lane. You take a plate. You take minion waves. You deny minion waves. You take the Drake. You take the Scuttle Crab. Lilia can even back after that, go to her Wolves and Gromp and whatever the fuck is respawning else, right? Victor can go do the enemy Hecarim's Raptors because Hecarim is on Rift Herald. What is he gonna do, right? He can't just teleport over the fucking map. He doesn't even have Flash. So, in any case, that is what should have happened. There is absolutely no reason for Lilia to stay here, to even be on top side, right? First of all, this is so weird to me because you can never find lethal on Azir because Azir is going to have his soldier up, right? He has his flash, he has his ulti, he has his soldiers. He's just gonna E away, right? Even if you hit him as Lilia with E and then ult him, he's just going to WEQ away, right? There's nothing you can do about that. And if it's on cooldown, he's just gonna flash. And if he doesn't even have flash, which you should know that he has flash, he's just gonna ult, right? And that's pretty fucking basic. So, Alistar and Kai'Sa start rotating to Herald. But there is no way you're winning this. If you're SK, you should absolutely 100% know that there is not a chance in hell you win this when your Nard isn't alive, doesn't have teleport, and is in no, like, he cannot be there. There is no way. And if the enemy bot lane responds, just like you did, it's going to be a 5v4. And you're already behind, which means there is no way you're going to win this. Not a fucking chance in hell, man. So why are we rotating here? There's no reason. Like, I would understand if they know that Fnatic is going to rotate their bot lane top and that they just want to, go first. But that's not what ends up happening. They go bot lane. Alistar ends up backing because they didn't know that their bot lane was going to go top. So Alistar ends up backing, going with Nard to top. It just doesn't make sense, right? So what you can do here, because this isn't a good play from Fnatic, it is easily punishable because they have so many resources topside. You just go bot. You take the Drake, you take the Scuttle Crab, you take these waves, you deny the waves, you get a plating probably, maybe even 2, because it is 5 plates, so the 4th plate isn't even going to be that, it's the 4th plate, it isn't that tanky, right? You can take it, especially if you have Lilia there, which you don't have to have Lilia there. You don't even have to take 2 plates. You can just take 1 and deny farm, right? Deny XP, deny gold. Lilia can back, go do her Wolves, go do her Grom, go fuck all, you know what I mean? Like, Victor can go and take Raptors. And at that point, you're closing the kind of this that has happened, Nar dying, Herald getting taken, you're neutralizing it. Like, things can right now go down with bot lane going down, right? And it's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine that Jezu backed if he was going to go bot lane. In my opinion, he shouldn't have even backed. He should have just went bot lane straight up. But it's fine, right? He can just go bot lane. But he doesn't do that. In fact, not only does he not do that, he entirely misplays the map. He goes to Herald and then goes bot lane when the enemy bot lane is going top, and then doesn't even do anything bot lane. He goes around about taking the Drake. He doesn't have a legend rune, man. Your domination and inspiration don't have a legend rune, which means you do not need to hit the fucking Drake. And I think it's fine for Fnatic to rotate their bot lane up, first of all, because Upset does have a legend rune, so if he hits the Herald, he's going to get a stack. He can go top lane, whatever. But you can neutralize this entire play by just going bot lane. And SK don't do that. They let Fnatic get an advantage over something that shouldn't really have been an advantage. Except for the kill, I guess. It just doesn't make much sense to me, personally, anyway. Maybe you disagree, but I really don't see any reasoning behind the disagreement over that. But if you have anything to add to it, be sure to let me know in the comments or something like that. So, that is the first play that we see here. And they do end up taking the Ocean Drake and the Scuttle, which is really good for SK because they're looking to really outscale the enemy team comp, and as long as they delay the Drakes, it's all fine, right? So, that's what ends up happening. I'll just take a sip of water. We watched this god awful play. So like Kaisa just went top and then decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna go through mid to my bot lane, like, and then she doesn't even go to bot lane to take the wave. She just goes to Drake instead, and it's just so weird in my opinion. But whatever. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is where? Let me find it. When they actually start throwing. It's not here. It's about here, I think. Yep. No, it's not here. I'm stupid. Wait. Let me find it. I'm sorry. I lost the timestamp for a reason. But... Okay, so right here. Bwipo, man, this was so hard to watch. Bwipo doesn't need to go here to take this. There's no reason to do so. In fact, what things could have done was just stood in front of Bwipo as soon as he started coming in. And like, I don't understand the reasoning behind this. Like, sure, you can just ult there and like let the Baron minions kind of kill the turret, which is not going to happen because there's Victor on the team, right? But what was this BMing? Like, look, he's BMing. He's BMing, but he's staying for no reason. There's no reason to stay here. The the Baron buff can be applied from over here, right? So what's the point of standing here? What's the point of like stopping, going back? Like, what's the point of that? Like, there's no other point except that you're going to die. And if your argument is, oh well, he was baiting them so that Fnatic can take mid lane, a much better play would have just been to go down into bot lane, crash both mid and bot lane at the same time. Then you're going to be able to take both inhibs, and you're going to recall and come back to the Drake. You know what I mean? Like, it's completely bonkers that this wasn't thought of. Like, why is Upset not saying, yo, Bwipo, come down, let's crash this wave together? Because the wave in mid lane is right here. If Bwipo comes down, he can proxy the wave that's going to come in, right? Or if not, then he can just, you know, go and help out Upset with his wave clear. And then they can crash both turrets at the same time. You know? But no, that's not what we're going to do. Instead, we're going to kill Bwipo. Or Bwipo is going to quite literally kill himself here. There was really no reason to do this. And then Fnatic is thinking, yeah, let's go. You know, we're going to take a tower. But they only take the mid turret, which doesn't even really matter. You know? This doesn't matter. The fact that they took the mid turret, it applies pressure to the inhib. That's certainly true. But it really isn't something that I would say is worth having your top laner die over, right? Because you don't even take the bot lane turret. So, anyway, let's go to the bot lane turret. So, SKC, Fnatic see 3 people top lane, right? They're taking the turret, which you can say like, oh, maybe that's a bad play by SK. I really don't think it is. I think they were going to lose this bot lane turret anyway, so you just can let it fall and take something else on the map. Except Fnatic decide that this is a great time to go for an open attack onto Victor, who has both Flash and Zhonya up, and Phase Rush. In what world is this a good play? Because this never works. If Blue just has his keyboard in front of him, this never works. Because, in fact, once Hylissang ults, all Blue has to do is Zhonya's. Or Flash, though he doesn't need to Flash. Or he can just wait like this, and then Flash, Zhonya's after the charm is ended. Like he does. Instead, you could have taken the turret. You could have pressured the bot lane inhibitor as well, because Baron is going to spawn soon. So once you take both inhibitors, they actually cannot contest Baron. But no, Upset and Hylissang decide, yeah, let's kill this guy that has both Zhonya and Flash up. They don't kill him. Let's see what happens. Oh, the Meganar has TP? Lol. I guess we just forgot to time it or something. Lol, dude. You know? Whoops. That's my fault. And then Jesu with a big dick play. He doesn't have Gale Force for some reason. I don't like. I think Gale Force would have been better than Kraken Slayer. And excuse me for going on off on a tangent here, but I don't really agree with the Serrated Dirk buy, because usually you buy it if you're ahead of the opponent so that you can get, you know, your Q stacked faster. But like if you're behind, I don't think you should. I think it just it delays the build way too much. In like so I don't know, but I just don't like the build. Or not. I don't like the build, but like I don't like it in this position specifically. You know. So anyway, Jesu with the big dick play going in, right? Which is totally fine. Gen X, the fucking savior, right? Jesu did not have to flash that, by the way. He should have known that Gen X was just going to ult the Hecarim away. Or, you know, something. It should maybe communicate that, I don't know. But, like, in my opinion, Jesu never needs to flash there. Maybe he flashes away from Hilly Sang's W, but you can wait on it, you know what I mean? You don't have to do it immediately. Because if Hilly Sang... Oops. Because if Hilly Sang W's in, he's probably going to die. So, anyway, now the entire team is coming in, right? They're coming back. Fnatic is not here to kill the turret. They're here to take the fight. Just stake the fucking turret, man. Just stake this turret. Why is Selfmade over here? Take the turret, back the fuck off. Back off! Back off! No! God, no. God, no. Hecarim just decides, no, we're gonna go in right fucking now, you know? And guess what? Lilia hit her E onto Azir, and she also hit Hecarim. So guess what? The ulti outranges the Azir because it goes, or her ulti technically outranges the Azir because her E can hit him from a fucking mile away. And Azir cannot deal damage. Upset, in fact, is zoned off by a fucking Alistar, all because of the sleep. And guess what? Niski cannot do shit. Niski has no damage output. And Treats does a really, really nice thing. This was a really good play by Treats. Like, I think if they communicated better, Niski was dead here. In fact, I'm not even really sure like how he got away with his E. Like, I don't think that should ever have been able to happen, but like, you know, because Treats can just stand in front of it, but it doesn't matter. They kill the Hecarim. They get a shutdown onto Kaisa, which, by the way, is kind of, what's it called? A theme throughout this game, or throughout this video specifically, because she gets a lot of fucking shutdowns for no reason. Anyway, at this point, Fnatic, like, Niski can't go in. Niski does not have HP. Tinks can just zone him. Upset is getting zoned by the fact that Niski is getting zoned, because without Niski, Upset cannot go in because there's no range. He is way too close ranged. He can't actually do anything. He can chuck one auto attack at Alistar and deal 3 points of damage. And then Bwipo dies. And then Niski cannot actually follow up the Bwipo thing because Tinks is still zoning him with a Z. And Treats is right behind him, so if you even if you try when you see the E is out, here comes Treats, right? And you're not gonna kill him really, because Blue is still alive. Because in fact, the entire SK lineup is still alive. And I really like the patience here from SK. They don't decide to overchase because there's no need to. Though I think it would have been fine to do so as well, because you're gonna get Baron. But you know, they don't need to. They don't need to risk it because they're still behind in gold, right? So they don't need to risk it. They're behind on items, they're behind on levels. They don't need to risk dying here or anything like that due to an overchase. So what they do is they push out the minion waves, or the minion wave, and then there's this little dancey dance over here, or Fnatic can just do Baron, right? Like, SK can't really contest this because they can't go into Fnatic. Right? Because if they do, they just immediately lose the fight. But instead, Fnatic, for some ungodly reason, decide that they're not going to finish the Baron, and that they're going to go for a fight, which doesn't need to happen. And then here is the kicker. You see this? This is the game-winning fight for SK. Guess what? This was supposed to be the game-ending fight for SK. They cannot engage like this. They lose if they engage like this. You want to know why? Here's fucking why. Because Hecarim runs in, Hylissang runs in with Hecarim or goes to Whippo, he has ulti up, he goes W in, and nobody on SK can move like this. But no, instead, what Hylissang does is he decides to stay on the same portion of the wall for like 5 fucking minutes, indecisive. And, you know, you might think, oh, you know, this is just a one-off, whatever, right? Happens. But this isn't a fucking one-off. In fact, I remember this specifically was what cost them the game when they played against, I want to say Schalke it was, when they played Fasting Senna and Hylissang played TK. And he was standing on a wall twice in that same game. He was standing on a fucking wall for 5 fucking minutes, not being able to decide where he should go, on which side of the wall. And by the way, just like here, both sides lead to the same fucking outcome. In that game, wherever he went, if he went with Self-Made onto one side or with his team on the other side, he would have lived. Instead, he stays and dies. Here, if he goes with Self-Made, makes the same play, goes into ulti, battle dance, W, nobody can fucking move. If he goes onto this side, he goes to Scion, maybe it's even easier, right? But it doesn't matter, it's still fucking free as fuck. Because Self-Made has ulti. So just instead of like going here while Self-Made is just running up the fucking driveway, you decide to stay in this pocket and do absolutely nothing. Your presence is not felt. There is no presence from Hylissang in this portion of the fight, and this could have been the game ender for Fnatic, or for SK rather. But no, Hylissang takes his time, and then he gets minion blocked on top of that as well, because he took way too long, and now the minions that were following Self-Made have stopped in their tracks and started going the other way. So now Hylissang has to go around the fucking minions as well, and then he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it to display. And thus, they only are able to end up or what the fuck did I just say? And thus, they only end up killing Treats. Because, yeah, you're just sold now, but it's too late. It's way too fucking late. In fact, he barely uses his ulti onto Blue, who has Zonias, by the way. Treats gives his life for Blue, which I think is totally fine. I think it's like a really, like, kind of heartfelt moment, wholesome as fuck from Treats. A really good player, by the way. I don't think he gets enough credit for how actually good he is. I think with a better coach and stuff like that, and a better team, he would be popping off. You know, but Blue ends up living here because of his Zonia and Flash. I'm not sure. However, I think Fnatic, or actually Upset, mistimed his Zonias, because I think if he just plays his feathers better, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't hold me to that. Doesn't really even matter. They won the team fight here. That's what matters, right? They won the team fight. They can just back off. I think for sure they can do Baron here, by the way, because Hylissang has his passive on Q, or it's not really a passive. It's like he hits the Q and then he has to heal. If Hecarim comes in, you can just heal the Hecarim. Upset doesn't need to really be here. He can just back and then go back here, right? Actually, in fact, I don't think even Upset would die because of the lifesteal or Omnivamp or whatever the fuck he has. But they decide not to do that. And Jesu here making a big dick fucking play. When this W hits, Fnatic should just let Jesu go on to Self-Made and kill him immediately. But instead, Niski decides, hell fucking no. I'm gonna int my life away. And that's exactly what ends up happening. He has the Zonia, however the passive is already stacked up. Look at the fucking damage onto Hylissang. And Jesu just goes in like a fucking, like, I don't even know, like Schumacher, right? He just destroys this guy. It's just, that's it, right? And now Fnatic cannot do the Baron, not on their fucking lives. Because there's way too small of a health bar. on every single person there. Like, I thought that SK could take the Baron for themselves, but I just don't think they do it fast enough, to be honest, so it's totally fine. And this is when they start closing the lead. But the lead still exists on Fnatic's side. If they just don't throw the game again, they can for sure win, right? Yeah. I'll tell you something, that's a pretty big fucking if. Because, guess what? They throw the game again. So anyway, Fnatic go for the Baron here again. We're dancing around this Baron for like 20 fucking minutes. They took the Infernal Drake, and now they're, you know, they want to take the Baron as well. We can just do Baron, by the way. SK cannot run into us, because if they do, Hylissang is actually there. But no, we're just not going to do that. We're not going to do the Baron for some ungodly reason. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to push the mid lane wave, which is pushing in our favor already. It is pushing in our fucking favor. In fact, these three people can go into mid lane, clear the wave, while Bwipo and Niski are taking the Baron, and then you can just go back and kill the Baron. Finish it, right? But that's not what happens. They just want to 5-man go into the fucking base for no goddamn reason. I get that they want to take this inhibitor because it's going to be easier to take the Baron then. But it doesn't fucking matter. And why do we really want to fight at this fucking inhibitor? We can just naturally win the game with a Baron. Yes, the enemy team outscales you. But just take Baron. Right now, they don't outdamage you. Right now, they're not ahead of you. You have 4 items on Xayah. They cannot run into you, man. Just take the Baron, and then you can close out the game. Then you can fucking do this. Which was such a fucking in play, because what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, who are you ulting here? You don't see anybody? And even if you did, if you saw them, you would see that they're next to a fucking wall. So you cannot, like, you literally cannot, like, fucking just randomly, like, turn around as Sion ulti, right? And now they get corralled. Now they get surrounded. And now they realize, wait, guys, maybe we can't actually take the inhibitor. But guess what? Too fucking late. And this was really pretty from things. He understands that Xayah has ulti and cleanse, so he takes somebody else to sleep anyway, right? Because when he sleeps upset, he's going to use one of his cooldowns, right? So he's just going to use his sleep on another person so that he at least gets some, what is it called? Something out of it, right? Like some benefit. And then treats with a really nice play here, just going balls deep, right? And then Upset, instead of ulting, decides to cleanse, and this is why we pick Xayah, by the way. We pick Xayah so that they cannot engage on us like this. You can use your ulti instead of your cleanse for the Lilia sleep. I don't know if you knew this, but you can. But instead, he doesn't. He uses it afterwards. After all the damage has basically already been done. Like, I get that he's ulting away from the gravity field and the gravity storm, but you could just use your feather storm immediately, right? Or whatever it's called. I don't fucking know, man. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you just use your ulti first, and that's it. None of this shit happens. You don't need, I don't know if you had to flash. If you use your ulti, probably, but it doesn't really matter either way, because at least you have cleanse, right? But now, you don't have cleanse. You can't go in. Now you're zoned off by yourself. You're really zoned off by yourself. Because the enemy outranges you. And here, there's an Azir turret, but again, Treats has ulti. He doesn't take any fucking damage. Look at this. The heal comes in. That's 300 HP. A really kind of cringe flash by Jezu, but I don't even know if it was a cringe flash from Jezu or just a really unlucky one, because like those Azir soldiers were so perfect, like so fucking perfect. And then here, like, Hylissang is still here. What the fuck? Just kill this guy. Like, where's he going? Niski has ulti, they can't actually go on top of you. And then of course Hylissang ends up dying. Then Bwipo ends up dying for no reason, right? But that's afterwards. Of course, Gen X with an actual mind, with an actual brain, with an actual IQ decides, wait, I'm just gonna kill the Azir before I kill the Sion, right? Makes sense. And look at the range at which Blue could have killed Azir here, by the way. Look at where the W soldiers are. Look at where the E is coming from. All the way over to here. And then, of course, they run down because, you know, Stridebreaker is definitely not overpowered. Definitely does not need any kind of a nerf. But anyway, they end up killing Bwipo, and this is really the game-losing play. I mean, you know... Like... I don't know, man. It was just so weird to watch this, because SK then take Baron, right? And with Baron, they can actually push through. And then they actually start pushing in, and now Fnatic do the same thing again. We're actually gonna look at why this is, okay? Why are they even here? So let's see. SK have just been bot lane to push out the turrets. Now they're going up, and for some reason, Fnatic decides that the best idea here is to go for the inhibitor. It's not like you're going to get surrounded by a composition that thrives on surrounding you, that thrives on you having to have split focus on your engaged duels, you know? So then they decide, wait guys, this might not have been that good of an idea. I kind of don't like this. But they play to it as well. Like, just back out through this or this pocket. This, you can just back off from here. Or if you really wanted to take the fight, at least go top and take this wave with you. Oh, but now they decide, you know, and they don't even decide that we're going to go, right? They just decide we're going to stay here. So we're going to let Treats take a fucking, you know, route to, I don't fucking know, Hong Kong and back. Because we're so fucking far up the lane for no reason other than to take an inhib that doesn't even really do anything, because, you know, like, you could just fight this at Drake. If you really want to take Drake that badly, just fight it at Drake. Oh, but they have 2 TPs. They wanted to take inhibitor, and then when they're taking the Drake, if the fight goes out, then they just double TP with their Sion and their Azir, and they win the game. Yes, but they can't take the inhibitor here. As you can clearly fucking see, Azir is out of the picture. Azir cannot fight this. Azir was slept. Now he doesn't have the proper positioning. And then Gen X with a really pretty fucking play. And Niski is so... like, he can't do anything. Niski cannot interfere with this fight, and he's the only way they can win it. Upset can't either. Bwipo can't. Selfmade is a one-man army trying to fucking 1v4 the entire enemy team composition, but he cannot do it because his champion fucking sucks dick because he's playing Tank Hecarim. Oh, they killed Treats! Oh, wait, that's Treats. That's the Alistar. We killed Alistar while they basically killed 2 champions. As you can see on the health bars, it's 1 champion, we'll say 2 champions. It's probably 2.5 at this point. You know? And then Dinar is just too much, right? Because you have way too little HP. Dinar is too much, and you can't really do anything. And at this point, you know, it's just over. Like, they're going to run you down, and then they're just going to win the game. And that's exactly what ends up happening. And this is the punishment that teams need to dish out to Fnatic when they start doing this. And by the way, I haven't even talked about the fact that Bwipo was pretty much BMing in these fights for no reason when he's really not playing that well, or well at all. So, can somebody run me through what the fuck this game is? Like, this game should have ended at 25 fucking minutes. At 30 minutes. Doesn't matter. At 25 minutes, it should have ended, in my opinion. Like, with a 10k gold lead and you cannot close out a game? Like, it doesn't fucking matter that the enemy outranges you. You just run at them and you kill them because your items are stronger. But no, they go through extra steps to just die when there's really no reason to do so. And I get it. I get they love fighting. They want to fight. But fight over stuff that matters. Stuff over, fight in, like, fight in advantageous positions. You love fighting. Yes, that's great. Fighting is super cool. It's super fun to watch. It's entertaining as fuck. It can get you shit. But that's not the point. Fight over, fight on, high ground, right? When you have the high ground, you can choose where to fight. And when you choose where to fight, you can just win the game outright by having chosen the correct, position. So instead of fighting near the objectives where you just hold so much weight, and instead of Haley saying just going in and winning you the game, you decide to not fight where you have an advantageous position, but in fact, you're going to fight everywhere else except where you have an advantageous position. And that's just so weird to me. Like, I'll be the first to say, SK had absolutely zero absolutely fucking zero, like, what is it called? I'm blanking. Fuck. They shouldn't have won this game, is what I'm trying to say, okay? I'm blanking because I'm fucking really triggered by this. Because, like, like, how do you not understand these things, right? Like, these are professional players. They play League of Legends all fucking day, every single fucking day, for money. Right? They're paid to play League of Legends well. They have coaches that are paid to coach the players that are already playing the game every single day on a professional level how to play the game even more professionally at the professional level, and there is just nothing like professional about this. There are no decisions that are being made that I can say, yes, this is an interesting take on the known intricacies of the game itself. Very interesting. Yes, five head. Like, there's nothing like that, and it's so fucking cringe. It is so annoying. It makes me unironically cringe, man, when I'm watching these games. No shot SK wins this. But in fact, they do. Why? I don't know, because Fnatic just felt like losing the game. And then SK end up fucking throwing the other two games. And, what do I even say about it? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, I'm going to also go over some other playoff games, like, for example, the G2 versus Schalke games. Not all of them, probably. Like, I'm probably just going to go over specifically the draft, or sorry, not the draft, but the Darius pick. I almost said draft pick. The Darius picks, because I find them really interesting in a weird way. But yeah, if you have anything to add to this, if you disagree with anything I have to say, please do leave a comment or tell me or message me or whatever the fuck. Tell me what you don't agree with. I would love to have a discussion about these things because I'm really passionate about it, and I would love to see any kind of improvement in these regions like LCS and LEC, because I think, especially in the LEC at least, um, there can like there there can be improvement, right? Like there can be genuine improvement, and I would love to see it, and I would love to have discussions about this. So if you have anything to say, to add, to disagree with, please do say it. Um, Other than that, if you liked what I had to say, please do like the video. If you hate what I have to say, if you hate my fucking voice, if you hate everything I have to say, if you think I'm a dog shit person, even though you don't know me, please do dislike the the video. It helps a lot as well. No, but on a seriously, like if you disagree with the video or dislike the video just in general, please do leave a dislike. Leave any comment, right? If you have any critiques on the way I analyze things, on maybe something I do that I could do better, please say so. If you want to see more of this stuff, if you are looking forward maybe to somebody um, taking apart games like this in this sense, please do subscribe as well. And other than that, thank you for watching. I'm out.